Let's use internal dev steps to debug build issues locally with Worker CLI. We'll look at two dev steps, internal shell and internal watch. Both of these steps can be used with a special pipeline named dev, which is designated for development use. The internal shell step allows you to open an interactive shell session while your build is in progress. This gives you access to the Docker container where the build is running and is a useful tool for troubleshooting your build. This is a simple worker.yaml file which builds a Go program and runs it. The program prints out a message that uses the values of two environment variables, username and tagline. We run this build using the Worker CLI and provide an environment file that contains the values of the variables. When we run this build, it prints out the part of the message with the username, but not the tagline. To troubleshoot this issue, let's create a dev pipeline and use the internal shell step. The CMD field specifies what shell to open, which defaults to bash. The code field specifies the code to run in your shell session before you begin interacting with the session. Let's run the dev pipeline using Worker CLI. The build is now paused and we are in an interactive shell. If we look at this environment, we see that username is set but tagline is not. So there is a problem with the way we set up our environment variables. Once we exit the shell, the build resumes. I checked my environment file and found that I had missed the x_ prefix for the tagline environment variable. After adding the prefix, our build pipeline behaves as expected. Next, let's look at the internal watch dev step. This is a long-running step that can be used for development when we want the step to reload the environment after file system changes in our development directory. For example, it can be used to run a Node.js application from within the worker build, reloading the contents of the build container when your development files change. This example worker.yaml runs a Node.js application within the internal watch step, monitoring for code changes. The code field specifies what long-running command to run. Setting reload to true specifies that we want to monitor the file system and reload when there are changes. When running the dev pipeline, we specify the publish option to expose a port from the Docker container where the pipeline is executing so that we can connect to our running application. Now the internal watch step is running and we can open our application in the browser. Let's make a quick change to the code. The code change in our development file system causes the application to be reloaded inside the Docker container. We can view our changes by looking at our application again in the browser. Learn more at cloud.oracle.com/containers/pipelines.